Patriots playing host to the AFC East leaders, the Miami Dolphins. Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By the Texas Instruments home computer, creating useful products and services for you. And by Honda, the world's second time in the last 8 years is the least penalized team in the National Football League, whereas New England was penalized 10 times in their victory last week against Buffalo. All right, Fred Steinfort getting ready to kick it off for New England. Fulton Walker is the deep man. You'll recall he returned one for a touchdown in the Super Bowl. But this time barely across the 20-yard line. Nathan and Franklin are the backs with Marino. Mark Duper, young sensation, averaging better than 21 yards a reception, along with the rejuvenated Matt Moore and the tight end Dan Johnson, the targets. And the offensive line with the seemingly ageless Bob Kuchenberg at 36. Dwight Stevenson, outstanding young center, and he really handled Dennis Owens, the nose man of the Patriots, the last time these two teams met. Franklin stopped shy of the line of scrimmage on the first down carry. Johnny Rembert, one of the inside linebackers, a rookie, made the stop. As we look at the Patriot defense, a 3-4 unit. Julius Adams is the veteran of the group in his 12th season. And there are the linebackers. And the defensive backs with Lippett and Claiborne at the corners and James and Sanford at the safeties. Marino finds Johnson, the tight end, for a gain across the 30-yard line, which will leave him with third down and perhaps a yard and a half for the first. Ron Meyer in his second year as the Patriots head coach.
About 12 months ago, there was an awful lot of complaining here in New England about Ron Meyer's methods. They made it to the playoffs this year. There is no grumblings from the players. I think they realize that his approach is correct, and Don Shula, the most talked about coach in the NFL.
14 years with Miami, before that 7 with Baltimore. They give it to Tony Nathan, and Nathan stopped for a loss. Clayton Wysoon came from his linebacker spot, and that brings Reggie Roby into kick.
Second meeting of the season between these two teams, and New England has played very, very well 2 of the last 3 weeks. They held Buffalo to just 7 points while scoring 52 in 2 victories over them. And emotion is a big part of this football game.
Ricky Smith waiting deep. He's had punt returns of 55 and 43 yards this year.
Watch this guy, Reggie Roby. Wow.
Smith at the 27, sidesteps one tackler. And brings it back to the 36-yard line. A 45-yard punt by Roby and a 9-yard return by Smith. The Patriots offensively, Mark Van Egan is in with Robert Weathers still bothered by a variety of leg injuries. Stanley Morgan, Cedric Jones, and Lynn Dawson, who has been hobbled of late, but back in the starting lineup as the tight end, and the always impressive offensive line. Biggest group in the AFC, that group of offensive linemen, the New England Patriots. The give is to Collins. Collins gets perhaps 3. Tony Collins has gained 788 yards on the ground this year, second highest total in the AFC behind Kurt Warner of Seattle, who has 889. Betters, Baumhauer, and Beaucamper in the 3-4 front. Bob Brzezinski, their leading tackler. Dewey, of course, all-pro material. Roan inside with him. And their defensive backs. They have 19 interceptions this year as a team, one of the highest figures in the National Football League. On 2nd and 7, Collins again. Couple of tough yards. Collins is averaging 5.6 yards every time he carries the ball. He's had 3 games of better than 100 yards, including one over 200, where we saw him against the Jets, Trump.
This is something we will see all day long. Lead blocking by Van Egan, Collins following right behind. In the last several weeks, Miami has suffered from very poor tackling, facing the second best rushing team in the NFL today, and the best next week against Baltimore. A concern for Don Shula. They must tackle well.
3rd and 5 for Grogan. Lots of time. And a target. Lynn Dawson, the tight end. He's into Miami territory. A gain of 13. And a first down at the 47.
Interesting call by the New England Patriots. This was a delay to the tight end, and Dawson won the meeting of contact there against Langford. Got himself free. Just a simple little pass over the middle. Miami comes with 6 and 7 defensive backs. The area open in that defense is underneath the coverage.
On the right side.
Gets perhaps 4 into the middle of the defense before Bob Baumhauer stops him.
Majority of the New England Patriot offensive line blocking will simply be man on man. Miami plays that 34 defense, and if Brock and the 2 guards can handle the nose man Baumhauer, that's a big task, then they can get a little crease up into that defensive line, and that's all Tony Collins needs is a little crease, a little area, get his shoulders turned upfield.
2nd down 6. Van Egan. Not much. Van Egan went past Lydell Mitchell and into 14th place on the all-time rushing list with nearly 6,600 yards. He passed him last week. And as you can see, he's about to pass Lawrence McCutcheon, the former Rams star, and take over the 13th spot.
Another 3rd down and 5 situation for New England. Not a bad 3rd down conversion situation to be in.
And he hits his man for the first down. A gain of 11. As the reception is made by Cedric Jones, the 2nd-year wide receiver from Duke. So Grogan has gone to the air only twice, each time on 3rd down, and each time he's gotten the yardage he's needed.
You'll see the half rollout. Stay away from Doug Betters, the leading sacker in the NFL. He gets a straight line, Grogan does, to Cedric Jones. There are only 5 quarterbacks in the AFC who have thrown for more touchdowns than interceptions so far this year. We got 2 of them. That man right there, Steve Grogan, Miami's quarterback, Dan Marino.
Whoa. But it's beyond Clarence Weathers. Clarence Weathers, the brother of Robert Weathers, who normally, when healthy, is a starting running back for the Patriots. And Clarence Weathers is some story. He played only 1 year of college football at Delaware State. There he is. He left school, played only touch football in the interim, and then when he became draft eligible after his college class graduated, the Patriots worked him out, saw some potential in him, signed him as a free agent. Both his catches last week went for touchdowns, 58 and 40 yards. Collins smacked down as he crosses the 25. Third down, and we'll call it 6. Ernest Roan made the tackle on the play for the Dolphins.
This drive, a good drive by the New England Patriots, started at their own 36-yard line. They've been very patient. They've not tried to make the spectacular play, just establish at the outset that we're here to bust heads. And that's what New England does best nowadays.
Pats have had the ball for 6.5 minutes. Move after it by Clarence Weathers, and they've got another first down. Mike Kozlowski made the tackle.
Motion by Weathers. You'll see him get behind Steve Grogan and then turn around, and the defensive back keeps going. Grogan realizes that. Great catch. And an easy first down.
Weathers did well in Miami earlier in the year. The Dolphins won that game 34-24, but among Weathers' 4 catches, a 36-yard touchdown throw from Grogan. Collins, 3, maybe 4 on first down.
They'll keep pounding it in there. Collins is a very elusive back, but he can also get the tough yardage for you. He doesn't mind carrying it inside. Van Egan once again on the lead block. And you see Collins smartly following him. Good pickup of almost 4.5 yards.
Kansas City with the early lead over Cincinnati. The Bengals have really played well the last 3 weeks or so. Second and 5. Grogan with the play fake. Again, well protected. And again, the completion. The catch made by Derek Ramsey, the tight end. And a gain of 9 for the former Raider.
You can see the effect of a good running football team. Watch the play action fake. The linebackers, Dewey, 77, bottom of your screen, must stay at the line of scrimmage. And the tight end wide open. Brzezinski on the tackle. And that's another third down conversion into a first down. Miami has been having their problems. They can't figure out what New England is going to do next. And all the while, the offense of the Dolphins getting cold on the sideline.
First and goal from just shy of the 3. This has been a home field dominated series. The Dolphins have won the last 16 times they played at the Orange Bowl, but the Patriots have won 6 of the last 7 here in Foxborough.
3 tight ends for the Patriots.
Grogan keeping it and going right up the middle. Does that surprise you?
I wouldn't consider him a power back. So no, I would think when you have Van Egan and Tony Collins in the backfield, you give it to him. But it's to keep the defense honest. Obviously, he saw a linebacker off the line of scrimmage, and he's just trying to find a little space in the defensive line.
They got a couple of yards on it.
I don't think they'll go to it again, though. See how far back that middle linebacker is? That's what Grogan is trying to take advantage of. Space in the middle between the 2 defensive tackles.
Van Egan is close, but not there. Van Egan was given an offensive game ball last week after their victory against Buffalo, and when Coach Ron Meyer was asked why, he said, well, at least in part, because I like him.
Good enough reason. Cleveland over Tampa Bay 3-0.
That's what separates the Patriots from the early lead. Grogan again. Touchdown.
Taking advantage of that defensive set. They had the defensive tackles wide, center uncovered, and the middle linebacker standing about 3 yards deep behind Pete Brock, Wooten, Hanna. This is a crowd of people down there, but all they're trying to do is just take advantage. You see the linebacker flying in there, not before he could get across the goal line. Impressive drive by New England.
And for Grogan, his second TD of the year, and talking with Don Shula last night, he said in watching films of the Patriots, one of the things he has to acknowledge is they're not just beating people, they're physically dominating people, shoving them all over the field. Fred Steinfurt nails the point after. And the Patriots go in front 7-0 with 5 minutes and 52 seconds to play. It's strange how this series has been so dominated by the home team, Trump, regardless of the relative strengths of the teams through the years. They've been unable to break through on the other club's home field.
Bob, a factor may be, and I can't tell you when these two teams meet every year, but of course you got Miami coming from hot, humid weather, and last year they played in about 4 inches of snow. That was the snowplow football game. And then the same is true for New England. Going to Miami late in the season, you go from very cold, blustery weather to hot, humid weather. And it does have an effect on the way you play.
Although this year, New England went there early and lost 34-24. At that time, David Woodley was the Dolphin quarterback. Walker at about the 4. And out to the 30-yard line, Mosi Tatupu makes the tackle.
Well, the Dolphins will not have a more important drive than they have right here. So far, New England able to establish the emotion of the game and firmly implant in Miami's mind that they're going to be in a tough football game. So Miami's got to generate 1, possession of the ball for an extended period of time, and 2, do a little helmet racking themselves here. You can't give a team like New England that likes to beat you up any more reason to stay on the same game plan.
Marino, 5 quarterbacks picked before him in the first round. None of their performances even close to his thus far. Incomplete.
Actually, I believe that pass was complete to David Woodley on the sideline, but he was open.
Second down and 10.
And Houston by a field goal early over Detroit. The Oilers are well enough versed in what it means to lose week after week, not to get too excited about an early lead. You mentioned Marino doing better than the other quarterbacks. Most of those other quarterbacks not even playing. Those drafted in the first round ahead of him. In trouble, but he gets it away long just before he's hit. And over the head of Mark Duper, incomplete.
Now, Bob, there's a certain amount of desperation showing in that situation. Second drive of the ball game, already going to the fly pattern to Duper. Obviously, Miami with a good blocking offensive line. Plenty of time for him to throw the ball, but this is doing nothing to make an imprint on the New England Patriots. They don't mind if Miami throws the ball up like that 4 or 5 times a game, because New England right now in control of this football game. Shotgun.
They need 10. Marino throwing on the run and incomplete. Intended for Mark Clayton, number 83. There's a flag down on the play.
And a Miami receiver, illegal motion, so I'm sure New England will decline the penalty, and Miami must punt once again. Lawrence Wilk offense. 1, 2, 3 kick.
There's the officiating crew, and referee Jerry Seaman with the signal that it is against Miami, and Roby will kick for the second time.
Number 89, offense, penalty decline.
So far, New England's heads are in this game. Miami's heads not. That is very obvious at the outset.
Roby's longest kick of the year, 62 yards. Keith Smith waiting for it. It's the hang times, though, that have really opened eyes. Sometimes, and we're going to time this one, sometimes in the vicinity of 5 seconds. This time about 4.5 as Smith fields it, but gets a little room. And out to the 37-yard line. Woody Bennett made a good tackle on the play for Miami. It's a 45-yard punt and a 13-yard.
Everything so far. They got to change that in a hurry.
From just shy of the 38-yard line. Patriots give it to Collins. He gets 4. Last time we saw Collins in person, 3rd game of the year against the Jets. Better than 200 yards, a Patriot record established that day.
One of the great reasons is that huge offensive line up front. There's Pete Brock, the center, on Baumhauer, all-pro nose man. Brock, in that particular instance, wins the battle. Gets Baumhauer off the line of scrimmage about 4 yards, and it's easy then for a guy like Tony Collins to find a place to run.
2nd down, 6. Van Egan. Van Egan battles for 4 or 5. He's in his 10th year now out of Colgate. Got 55 yards and a good effort last week against Buffalo.
That's 2 for Pete Brock now. Doing a good job on Baumhauer. And that 34 defense hinges on the ability of the nose man to stand his ground at the line of scrimmage.
Cincinnati ties Kansas City in the first. And as Len Berman just told you, Seattle with the long kick return, 7-7 at St. Louis. To the sideline, but somebody was a little confused.
Well, but the Patriots get a good break because there's going to be pass interference on William Judson, and the receiver,
Stephen Starring, ran a longer route than Grogan, I guess, had expected.
Now, there's going to be, I believe, a discussion here as to whether or not the ball could have been caught. And if the officials rule that the ball could not have been caught, I don't think they'll call interference.
There is no penalty on the play as the receiver could not catch the ball.
The ball is in the air, and you see the contact. Judson on Starring. That's supposed to be interference, but the new rule is if the ball is not catchable, as determined by the officials, then they'll not call pass interference. Ron Meyer a little upset. That was lack of communication between receiver and quarterback, as you said, Robert.
Now Rich Camarillo, whose gross average of nearly 46 yards, there it is the best in the league, and his net average of 37.2 is also the top figure in the NFL. He averaged 51 yards a kick on 4 boots at Miami earlier in the year. The hang time on this one doesn't equal Roby's. Mark Clayton to about the 20-yard line. Don Shula says he's just waiting for Clayton to explode. He's come close to busting some punt returns this year.
Now we just heard that one of the officials has sprained his ankle, Frank Sinkowicz, and they're working with 6 officials for the rest of the day, unless they can get Frank taped up.
Andre Franklin carries, and not much for the third-year man from Nebraska. Clayton Wysoon and Julius Adams combined on the stop.
Great pursuit there.
The last time they sold this place out, it was also against Miami in November of 1981. More than 60,000 here today. Call it no gain and 2nd and 10. Tony Nathan makes the catch and then is blasted by Don Blackman.
So far, the hitting on just one side of the line of scrimmage. That's the New England Patriots. And this is an emotional game anytime New England plays Miami because they're in the same division. And certainly made an impression on the Dolphins to this point in the game.
A gain of 1 on the play. Nathan is the leading pass receiver. That was his 35th reception for Miami. But it leaves them with 3rd down and 9. 2.5 minutes to play first quarter.
Shotgun.
Inside handoff to Nathan with a blocker in front of him. And Nathan has the first down.
Their first down. 13 yards on the carry. And obviously any team facing a shotgun is going to think pass number 1. Linebackers are going to drop very, very deep. Plus they had the prevent defense in there, the nickel situation. Good call by Don Shula. You'll watch 55 Blackman on the blitz, and they just run away from the blitz. You also see Tippett 56 in pursuit, 85 Julius Adams. Nathan with the first down.
Ken Sims is making his first appearance of the season on the defensive line for the Patriots. Andre Franklin with decent yardage out near the 30-yard line. Sims is number 77, and he was involved on that play. They said they'd like to get him 10, maybe 12 snaps today. He's been on the injured reserve list with a broken leg. 2nd time in 3 years he broke the same leg, and this is his first appearance of the campaign.
First pick in the draft 2 years ago?
Prior to last season.
Yeah, last year.
1:05 to play first quarter. Nathan
Bob will be able to see a real contrast between these two offensive lines. Miami's historically, under Don Shula, a good trapping line. They're not particularly big players. And on the other side of the line of scrimmage, the New England line is just huge, and they're one-on-one blockers, and they try to blow people off the line of scrimmage. So you can watch the traps by Miami and the one-on-one lead blocking by New England all day long.
3rd and 1. Franklin looks like he's got it. Depends upon where they spot it.
Watch Ken Sims now realize he has not played all season long. That's Ed Newman. He gets absolutely folded, and basically that accomplishes something. Even though it doesn't look very pretty, he's got to get used to taking those hits again before he can play, and play a lot.
And the gun sounds to end the first quarter with Grogan and the Patriots.
First quarter stats somewhat deceiving. Most of that time by Miami just accumulated. 5 first downs for New England in the first quarter, 2 for Miami.
Miami with a first down, and Marino to the air and beyond the diving Nat Moore. Ronnie Lippett, the rookie from Miami of Florida, had the coverage.
There it is. Once again, I spoke to Don Shula last night about Dan Marino. I said, what'd you like most about him? He said, 1, he wins. 2, he's accurate. And he's got that quick delivery. The ball up next to his ear, and he can throw it at a moment's notice. There are a lot of things said about Marino, that he throws off the wrong foot, that his feet are anchored in the ground, but when he throws it, it's darn close.
Kansas City has scored a touchdown to go in front 10-3 over Cincinnati early in the second. For 4 yards before the rookie from Nebraska, Toby Williams, number 90, stops him with some help from free safety Rick Sanford.
Inside linebacker Clayton Wysoon, who is an incredible athlete and generally leads his team in tackles, and one of those guys that never quits. Kuchenberg 67 on the ground, 64 up, and Bruce Hardy was the trapper on that situation, the tight end.
3rd down, and we'll call it 5 at the opening minute of the second quarter. Keeps it, gets the yardage they need, and gets out of bounds without taking a lick. We have all 7 officials now, as Frank Sinkowicz apparently has been taped up and he's ready to go.
For those who may think this is a busted play, no, by design. There's Frank right there. He's got his ankle taped. Looks like he's limping a little bit, but he's a gamer. Play with pain, right?
Miami in New England territory for the first time, just shy of the 45-yard line to pass. They give this to Franklin. Franklin barely back to the line of scrimmage, if that, before being wrestled down by Andre Tippett, number 56.
Great play by Tippett. Fought off that pulling guard. Able to stand the guy up and reach right over and make the tackle. This guy is everywhere. When he's on, he makes tackles 40 yards deep on the other side of the line of scrimmage, on the other side of the field. One of the most active linebackers you'll find, yet weighs about 245 and can play defensive end.
Moore makes the catch. Moore, at age 32, had asked to be traded. Gain of 15 and a first down. When it appeared that his playing time would be very slight, Jimmy Cefalo had the starting job, but in the game's first game of the season, Cefalo was injured and hasn't returned. Moore has gotten more playing time, and now when asked if he feels younger, he's 32, he says, no, I don't feel younger, but I sure feel happier.
Yeah, he's now a possession receiver for him. 3rd down, used to be the big play guy. Now relegated to the possession receiver, and Mark Duper has taken over as the big play guy for Miami Dolphins.
The air on first down and well protected into the end zone. Broken up at the last second. Claiborne reached in to knock it away. Duper was the target.
For Ray Claiborne's entire career, I think we've all seen him do that time and time and time again. Great recovery time. Almost appears that he'll allow a receiver to get deep on him, and then with his great speed and athletic ability, make it up on him.
Detroit claims the lead after trailing 3-0. See them on Thanksgiving Day on NBC against the Steelers. The job Chuck Noll has done there this year. Nathan to about the 24-yard line. That'll leave them with 3rd down and 4.
Now the Dolphins beginning to establish a good pace, putting their hats on people, and that particular time the center, Stevenson, really rolled the nose man out, created that little crack in the defense for running back to get up through there. Good drive here by Miami, just exactly what the doctor ordered. It started at their 8-yard line.
Escapes, but it's just short of Mark Clayton. There's a flag down.
Thrown in the area of holding on the Miami Dolphins.
Ken Sims is late getting up for New England. There he is. He's going to go out, but apparently not hurt.
Got to bring him back slow. It used to being knocked around a little bit.
Holding, number 57, offense.
The center, Dwight Stevenson, was holding. That 50 on the back of the Dolphin helmets, of course, is in memory of the late Larry Gordon, their linebacker, who passed away during the offseason.
This would certainly be a missed opportunity by Miami if they don't get it in the end zone. Drive it from their 8-yard line and then get this close and no points. Very discouraging.
Well, the Patriots thinking they'd rather push them back to the point where it would be a much longer field goal, but they run the risk of keeping the drive alive. Incomplete. Ronnie Lippett was there to break it up as Mark Clayton complains that he was interfered with.
That's incidental contact. Both have the right to go to the football from behind the defense. Zone coverage by New England. Marino on the money again, but you see shoulder to shoulder. Defensive back and receiver. And this will be a 51-yard attempt by Von Schaman.
Von Schaman's career long is 53. For the year in 1983, he's hit 10 of 16. But only 1 of 5 from beyond 40 yards.
Struck the holder. He can throw it.
This is actually a 52-yard attempt. Wow. Ooh, he's got it. Von Schaman from 52 yards. He'd gone through a slump earlier in the year. He missed 6 out of 8, including 2 in overtime that could have won the Buffalo game, which they ultimately lost. But now he's...
Again?
Ricky Smith fields it at the 5 and doesn't get to the 20-yard line. Yes, without the express written consent of the New England Patriots, and the NFL isn't allowed. Patriots back to work with the 4-point lead. The give to Van Egan, who gets a couple of yards on first down.
Dolphins also on that particular snap, Bob, you saw 4 defensive linemen as opposed to 3, as we've got a penalty flag on the field. You see the 4 defensive linemen with the Patriots' ability to run the ball so well. They're looking for help. Good Brzezinski on the tackle, number 59. And it looks like it's going to go against New England.
Van Egan with some equipment adjustments. Neil Lomax to Roy Green for a touchdown as the Cardinals go in front of Seattle in the second at St. Louis. And Philadelphia and the Bears tied in the second quarter. Holding against the Pats sets them back inside the 10. Where it's first and 19.
Well set up.
Made by Tatupu. Tatupu is cut down at about the 18-yard line. A.J. Due, and that now is the preferred pronunciation. No more A.J. Dewey.
That's
Due,
also,
he says.
That's also the preferred way to break up a screen. That was well set up by New England. Tatupu had two offensive linemen in front of him. A.J. Adam Joseph Due, able to get behind the offensive line, make a big tackle.
But they got 9 yards back, so it's second down 10. Play fake. Flag down. Pass complete. Stanley Morgan gets a block and then tiptoes out of bounds in Miami territory at the 47-yard line, but let's see what the flag is about. Gain of 35 if it stands up.
I think we're going to have offsetting penalties here. One on New England, then holding. One on Miami, then holding on New England. I don't know what's going to happen.
Offside, number 77, defense. Holding, number 75, offense. Offsetting penalties.
We'll watch the holding penalty against Doug Betters, and that's Bob Kreider. And he's the leading sacker in the NFL, and if he's going to get free on your quarterback, I'd grab him too. But Patriots, Miami Dolphins got lucky there. 35-yard gain, wiped out by offsetting penalties.
So we repeat the down, second and 10.
I think I'd come back with the same play. That would work rather well. Morgan with good speed, they have the same formation.
Well, it was Morgan who was the target, but was he ever blasted by Glenn Blackwood, the strong safety?
I think it'd be a good idea if they didn't come back with the same play. You see the blitz, Betters, Brzezinski. Here's the leading sacker in the NFL. Watch out, Grogan. And he pulls up. Good hit by Blackwood on Morgan. Incomplete pass.
Both these clubs have done a good job of late protecting their quarterbacks. Grogan has been sacked just 3 times in the last 4 weeks. Marino only once in the last 3 games. This is third and 10, 10:21 to play, second quarter. The Patriots had a long drive the first time they had the ball for a touchdown. Lead it 7-3. Collins, we'll hear some boos about that call.
Now we saw Betters on the pass rush. How's he do against the run? This kid is 6'7", weighs 260 pounds. Double teamed by Wooten and Kreider to get him on the ground. So they even up.
Camarillo again to kick. His statistics are even more impressive when you consider the fact, Trump, that this is a difficult stadium to kick in. Often there are swirling winds here.
We've caught a rare day where there's not a breeze anywhere.
He's hang time again. Mark Clayton trying to get outside with it. And to about the 43-yard line. Camarillo hung that one for 4.3. Early team domination in this series. Patriots have done well here. Miami has won 16 straight against New England at the Orange Bowl. Marino Marino starting slowly is 3 of 9 thus far. Gives to Nathan, and Tony Nathan bursts for 9 yards to the 49-yard line. One of the inside linebackers, Johnny Rembert, made the tackle.
All the Patriots 49.
Mentioned Marino, just 3 of 9 for 24 yards thus far. The Dolphin running game has outgained the Patriots.
In the second quarter so far, I think most of that has been amassed.
Struggling and may have the first down. Marino is the #1 rated quarterback in the entire league. That rating system is very complex. It involves percentage of completions, the percentage of passes which are intercepted, the percentage that go for touchdowns. It's difficult to explain, but nonetheless, Marino is the leader by a slim margin over Steve Bartkowski. If that were to hold up, it would be the first time that a rookie quarterback had ever led the NFL in passing efficiency since the merger in 1970.
I didn't realize that.
You do that?
Most important stat, he's 4-1 as a starter for the Miami Dolphins. Forget the rating system.
And the only loss was in overtime, where he threw for 322 yards against Buffalo. Tony Nathan draws a crowd. Goes down after a gain of 2.
Shula does call the plays for Dan Marino from the sideline with help of Don Strock there with the baseball cap on. And this is a team that uses that situation substitution. They have 3 tight ends. They all 3 play. A different set of running backs.
7.5 minutes to play, second quarter. Marino is on target to the sideline. Claiborne makes the stop after a gain of 12, and the catch made by Mark Duper.
Now, Bob, you can say what you want about Dan Marino, but one of the things that you just can't teach a quarterback is something he does naturally, and that is get that ball off in a hurry. When he takes it from the center, he gets it up next to his ear, ready to throw it. And when he anticipates that receiver being open, he can throw it and throw it in a hurry.
First down at the 34. Nathan, a yard maybe. And Johnny Rembert again is involved on the tackle.
He's replacing Steve Nelson, who is out with a fractured thumb, and Rembert has played pretty well for him. There's Nathan, their most versatile back. Now David Overstreet into the lineup for the Miami Dolphins, the guy who has been somewhat maligned in Miami and upset that he doesn't play more, but he doesn't seem to be able to hang on to the ball. Ooh, the offense of the Green Bay Packers.
And Minnesota all of a sudden struggling the last several weeks. On Shaman just in case. Overstreet who makes the grab. Overstreet, selected #1 back in '81 out of Oklahoma, instead went to Canada. He led the CFL in rushing one year, but also was plagued by fumbleitis, and that has been his problem too in the NFL.
Hanging on to the football is simply a matter of concentration, Bob. Here, another good pass by Marino. He looks off the defensive back. Fired is out there. This is a fine catch. And you see he runs it with the ball on his hip. If he would wrap the ball up a little better, he'd be a lot better off. Marino now 5 of 11, 50 yards, big third down conversion there.
So from the 18, they give it to Andre Franklin. Franklin battles for 3, maybe 4 yards, and again it's Rembert on the tackle. The rookie from Clemson having a fine first half.
Rick Sanford, free safety for the New England Patriots. Great tackler.
And really, he's the guy who should get credit for the tackle.
That's right. Through the first 5 games, Sanford was the leading tackler. Now it's kind of leveled off a little bit, but those free safeties now in the NFL, Bob, first and foremost be great tacklers because they cheat to the line of scrimmage. Get up there and support.
Second and 6 from the 14, and it's Nathan. This will leave him with 3rd and 2 as he gets to the 10. Larry McGrew made the tackle.
On the tackle. They're down to 2. Line of scrimmage to 10.
What's going on here?
Lomax Lomax to Roy Green again. Lomax has thrown 3 touchdown passes in the first half, all to Roy Green. 15, 23, and 7 yards for a 21-7 St. Louis lead.
Didn't Roy Green start out as a defensive back or a punt returner?
Both. And for a while was playing both offense and defense about a year ago.
Did they pay him overtime?
Well, I'm sure he negotiated a big contract the next year. Franklin, hello. They stop him for a loss.
Sanford again up there, along with Clayton Wysoon. Defensive line of the New England Patriots able to play along the line of scrimmage and pursue. String it out. Watch these linebackers. Remember at 52, Sanford towards the line of scrimmage. And in this situation, short yardage and goal line, if you've got great tackling defensive backs and linebackers, that's 2 linebackers, Wysoon and Rembert, along with the defensive back, Sanford to make the tackle. You got a great defense.
This will be a 30-yard attempt by Von Schaman.
Another missed opportunity. Second time Miami's been down here. Only resulted in 1 field goal. Second attempt.
Kuchenberg snaps, Strock holds, and Von Schaman connects.
Psychological lift in New England. Twice they've shut him out, held him to just field goals. 7
on sure footing. The field goal which won the game for the Pats 3-0.
What's he do now?
Well, actually Henderson, now out of jail, is employed by the Patriots. Works in their concessions department. Ricky Smith fields it 2 yards deep in the end zone. Gets to about the 26. At the time, though, Henderson was on the work release program, and when all the flack arose after he cleared off that place on the, and as you can see, the Patriots have graciously accorded them the best seats in the house.
Guests always welcome in Sullivan Stadium.
Single setback is Tatupu, and Mosi carries for a couple of yards on first down. Ernest Roan makes the tackle. Roan has missed several games with a case of pneumonia, which weakened him. He lost about 12 pounds, but they think this might be the week where he's ready to come back at full strength. Jets and Buffalo scoreless in the second. Buffalo at 6-4, as are the Colts, just a game back of Miami.
The 2 teams on their heels, I would say, after Buffalo being beaten last week so magnificently by this New England Patriot team.
Grogan, all kinds of time. He throws long, and he's got a man open, and the catch is made by Stanley Morgan. 53 yards on the catch.
With this running offense now of the New England Patriots, Morgan has a chance for the first time in his career to go under 20 yards a catch for the season, but still he is a threat. Play action fake by the New England Patriots. This is well thrown by Grogan. He gets enough air underneath it so that Morgan can adjust to the football. Great catch over Gerald Small. You would expect better coverage in that situation out of a veteran cornerback. Caught him napping.
So a first down at the 29 with 3:32 to play in the second quarter. It's 3, maybe 4.
Tough running.
Makes the tackle.
Excuse me, Bob. Tough running by these New England Patriot running backs. And once again, we saw Dewey down on the line of scrimmage. Miami going with 4 defensive linemen. Try to shut off the run. Make them throw the football. Mosi out of USC. Tough cookie when he carries the football. Also a great blocker, which is nothing more than effort.
Mosi has now carried the ball 182 times in his NFL career, and he's fumbled once. Second down, let's say 6. This is Tatupu. Baumhauer cuts him down after a gain of a couple. There's a flag down on the play.
New England Patriots going with a 1-back offense. First 4 or 5 drives of this game, they went with the double backs, and now with the 1-back. A little change up against Miami.
Down on the play. 15.
Whatever the penalty is, Don Shula wants him to take it.
Who does Shula trail on the all-time victory list? George Hallis, who has better than 300. Curly Lambeau. And Tom Landry, another active coach, of course, just a few victories ahead of him. 3 or 4 more, as I recall.
You saw right next to him, Bill Arnsparger, the assistant head coach, and there's Ron Meyer in his second year. Just a major penalty against New England.
Illegal use of hands. Number 81, offense.
Bob, when a screen pass is thrown, you're not supposed to be able to block as the ball is in the air. And there's the illegal use of the hands, setting up the screen.
Penalties roughly even thus far. Last week, you had to look for something wrong with the Patriots' performance against Buffalo, but they were penalized 10 times and they had 4 turnovers. Complete. Stephen Starring makes the catch. And they get almost exactly what they need. It may be close enough to measure as we go to...
Probably a zone. That's entirely too much cushion.
Patriots are left a yard shy of the first down. Some motion along the line. Tatupu struggles for the first down, but there's also a flag.
You take the penalty here. It'll give you 5 more yards instead of 2. Make it 1st and 10 at the 18.
Well, they conferred Trump the other night on your talk show in Cincinnati. There it is against yards. And a first down at the 15-yard line.
New England now 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and 1 running back.
Tatupu is inside the 5.
Great job by the guys up front. Oh, we're going to see this. Watch what they do to Baumhauer and to Betters. They get them both on the ground. There's Betters, 75. Great cutback by Tatupu. That's that man-on-man strength of Brock, Wooten, and Hanna. Watch the cutback. There he comes. Wide open hole, 11-yard pickup.
First and goal, Patriots. 4-yard line. Tony Collins got there. Wow. Well, Ron Meyer told them they couldn't spike the ball this year, so the Patriots resourcefully have worked out a routine of their own to celebrate.
Yeah, they may go back to spiking, though. That'll wear anybody out. But again, an impressive drive by the New England Patriots, almost 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. And watch the bow in that defensive line. Tatupu with a great lead block. And just through the mass of humanity, Collins comes out with his 9th touchdown of this season.
Steinfurt for the conversion with 1:57 to play until halftime. 14-6 Patriots.
This is power against power. Good block by Brock on Baumhauer. Rolls him right out of there. That's 58 on 73. Collins goes into the celebration. Out of the field. And that was not particularly well thrown by Marino into the ground. New England, strangely enough, in this situation with 1:45 left, staying with their standard defense. A 3-4 defense with 4 defensive backs. They don't have the extra one in there.
Marino scrambling and brought down from behind. Julius Adams got him. He made some short yardage, so it doesn't count as a sack. 3rd down and 7 with a minute and a half left in last year. So they have had their troubles against the Patriots in Foxborough. Sit on this or try for more? They give it to Tatupu. And out of bounds near the 40-yard line. next Sunday. We want you to join host Len Berman as NFL 83 starts the day with feature reports and a preview of the games. Then an NFL doubleheader. These are the early games you're looking at. And in the second half of our doubleheader, an interconference battle between the KC Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys, or Seattle and Denver. As they say, check your local listings for the games and times in your area. 36 seconds left.
Excuse me, but I'd put it up here. You got Stanley Morgan, and it looks like single coverage at the bottom of the field here. I'd put it up. Give it a shot.
They're thinking the same way.
He's open.
He is open, but it's off his fingertips. Well, you call that play all the way, Trump.
Now, it's pretty obvious. Second down and 6. You would think Small would be thinking the same way we are. Good rollout here by Grogan, and Morgan with his outstanding speed, nicknamed the Roadrunner. That ball is a foot shorter. They're in field goal range. Almost.
They ought to think about putting it in the air again. They've got 3 timeouts left, and if they can get 25 yards somehow, they could give Steinfurt a crack at it. They may not have as much confidence in Steinfurt as Shula has in Von Schaumann.
Whoa!
Nearly intercepted, almost a gift for Ernest Roan, right in his mitts.
That was thrown right over Robert Weathers' head. And if Ronan had some stickum on his face mask, it might have been an interception.
And an investigation if it stuck right there. They've clamped down on that sticky stuff since Lester Hayes was ladling it on with a spatula back a couple of years ago. Camarillo to kick. And it's Clayton to return. Gets outside and bumped out near the 35-yard line. It's Camarillo, the kicker, who made the stop. The punt was good for 45, but Clayton brought it back 20 yards.
Watch him set this picket up. To the bottom of the screen now, you're going to see Miami Dolphins players over there getting ready to set up their blocks. A little push in the back that they got away with. This is a good tackle by Camarillo. Not bad at all. Generally, those kickers go over there and try to tackle them with their chin strap in their hand. You know, try to trip them, grab a shoelace or something. Camarillo laid some leather on it.
Now with 11 seconds left. The Dolphins have a couple of timeouts. Not enough seconds remaining to utilize them, really.
Bottom of the screen, 3 receivers, Rose, Clayton, and Duper. Hope shot here. No, a middle screen.
And it's Tony Nathan who makes the catch. And he's got to go all the way. 1 second and double zeros. They were asking for a timeout. The Dolphins claim there's also a flag down on the play.
Illegal man downfield.
It's over. Penalty on the offense.
Illegal man downfield on the screen.
The Dolphins were claiming that they had called a timeout with 1 second left, but with the penalty against them, it becomes a moot point. And the Patriots, with a victory today, especially considering the way things are.
Half team. They have New England has so outscored their opponents in the second half that it's just amazing how many points they've scored. They've scored 48% of the points, the total points they've scored in this season in the fourth quarter. So Miami's got a very, very difficult task ahead of it.
Dolphins trail by 8 as they kick it off, and Ricky Smith at about the 1-yard line will field it for the Patriots. And he struggles out to the 27. Smith busted one for 97 yards for a touchdown against the Jets last year, but hasn't had a lengthy return this season.
With the halftime stats, well, as they sometimes are, very deceiving. Very close in total yards, time of possession very close. No turnovers for either ball club. That's an important factor. But Miami really hasn't got anything that they can hang their hat on yet.
That's Brooks Williams, reserve tight end for the Patriots, who was hurt on the play. Former member of the New Orleans Saints, more recently waived by the Bears. And hobbling off.
With the kickoff of Patriots Olympic Week, you can be Stanley Morgan and Rich Camarillo.
Well, let's see how the Patriots start here now. In the backfield, it looks like they have Van Egan and Collins as they started the ball game. And I would think that Miami may resort to the 4-man defensive line. They're basically a 34 defense, but they've got to shut down the run because that's what New England does best and what they like to do most. Let's see how that first snap is.
Collins and Van Egan are the backs.
4-man front by Miami Dolphins.
Jones in motion. The give to Collins. And Collins for about 3 on first down before being stopped by Doug Betters.
Now see what New England has done. They've made Miami go away from what they want to play best, and that's that, what they do play best and what they want to do most, and that's that 34 defense. So the psychology of the game very slight, but you can see that at this point it favors the New England Patriots. Dolphins in their second best defensive front.
Fake to Collins, and the pass juggled by Stanley Morgan and dropped.
Well, now it can shift to the other side. If Miami is able on this first drive of the second half to shut New England down, then a little bit of that feeling goes back on the Miami side of the football.
Grogan's figures thus far, 8 of 14 for 111 yards. He's had one long connection of better than 50 to Stanley Morgan, which set up the second touchdown.
Big play for both teams right here. Momentum could shift on this play alone.
There's the first down. The catch made by Cedric Jones. Both of these quarterbacks have been very well protected throughout the day. That's a gain of 15, and Grogan had time to find Jones.
Now you've got a situation where the defensive backs of the Miami Dolphins must respect the speed of Stephen Starring, Cedric Jones, and Stanley Morgan. Look at the cushion there. Good pattern run by Cedric Jones and a 5-yard cushion. Well thrown by Grogan. First down.
William Judson, who's replaced the injured Don McNeil at the left corner, made the tackle on the play. Collins to the 49-yard line for a gain of 3. Detroit and Houston, 17-10 Lions in the third quarter. Gary Danielson to Dave Jones, 3 yards and a touchdown.
Gee whiz.
Raul Alegre has kicked a 37 and a 46-yard field goal. So Pittsburgh's 7-0 lead now becomes 7-6. Walter Abercrombie had an 11-yard touchdown run in the game for Pittsburgh. 2nd and 7. Give is to Van Egan. Make it Mosi Tatupu who carries, and he gets 2 yards in the grasp of Kim Bocamper.
Now Miami going to their pass situation, defense, and they're changing depending upon the play, and New England really has Miami on their heels here.
Carried. Weathers hobbled with an assortment of leg injuries the past couple of weeks. Normally a starter. Has seen limited duty today. Gets the first down.
Runs right by the blitz and an excellent block by 33 Collins. Running right through the line of scrimmage. Big first down pickup, and now working on a 4.5-minute drive to start the second half.
Scanning the field, we see that Frank Sikovitz, the umpire who missed a small portion of the first half with a sprained ankle, evidently can't make it. He struggled through, but he is not on the field, so they're going with 6 officials in the second half. Collins breaks tackles and is down to the 27-yard line, but a loose football.
It's down. It's down where he fumbled it.
You're right.
Contact with the turf, 16 yards on the carry. First down, and New England is having their way with a very, very good Miami defense. Now watch this. Watch Van Egan on Rome. And Collins is right on his hip, so at the moment of impact in the block, when the linebacker is consumed by the blocker, Collins shoots by. Excellent play. And he tries to get after it again.
William Judson picked it up, but all for naught. The replay clearly showed he hit the ground. So a first down at the 27-yard line. And Grogan with a world of time. Almost a spectacular catch by Lynn Dawson.
Bob, I'll tell you, when you can run the ball the way New England has today and throughout this season, you put so much pressure on the linebackers. They must respect the run. It keeps them at the line of scrimmage for that play action fake, and then they've got to really hustle to get back in coverage. And it's the one thing in the offensive aspect of professional football that can put a defense at a terrible disadvantage. They'll be left with 3rd and long, the clock running, 10 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the third quarter. Mark Brown is the fellow who was in on the stop, one of their linebackers. Now Miami brings in their defensive pass set. And in the past, this day, New England has run a draw or a little screen out to the side and gotten good yardage.
Stephen Starring is in now as they go with 3 wide receivers. Broken up in the end zone, intended for Jones. Paul Langford in as an extra defensive back, swatted it down.
Defensive coverage by Paul Langford.
Receiver looking right back into the sun here. Very tough catch, but the ball is knocked away by Langford last second. So it'll be Fred Steinford in for a field goal attempt.
A well-traveled Fred Steinford, former Raider. He was the guy who succeeded George Blanda. Seahawk, Falcon, Bronco, and more recently Buffalo Bills kicker. Waived after 2 games by Buffalo, where he made just 1 of 6. He's 4 of 8 this year for New England. Oh! It hit the upright. It hit the right upright and bounced away no good.
How is that possible from that distance to hit the upright?
Well, he wasn't trying to.
I know, but you see that so often. You think the odds of that happening are astronomical, and yet how many times do you see this exact thing happen? Now that ball is no more than 7 inches wide. The upright about the same.
And he 4 yards. And the lead remains 14-6. Reception committee is waiting for him, led by Johnny Rembert, with help from Roland James. Kansas City continues to lead Cincinnati. 3 field goals, all the offense for the Bengals. Cleveland over Tampa Bay. And Houston has tied it with Detroit in the third at 17. 2nd and 9, 9:05 to play in the third quarter. Marino zings it over the middle, but there's nobody there. One thing Marino Marino can't complain about is the amount of time he's had to pick out receivers.
One, he's looking directly into the sun.
2,
it looked like Tony Nathan, the intended receiver, had an option route, and that's familiarity between receiver and quarterback, and somebody made the wrong choice. And Miami has got to get their heads together here. They have not played well to this point.
An opportunity to play. A starter as a rookie and doing a good job.
This game going back to Miami, trying to impress his fourth grade teacher who said he'd never be worth a nickel, proving her wrong. Excellent coverage by Lippert in that situation.
Is that an actual quote or is that just
yeah, he told me
an apocryphal story?
Ooh, that's a dandy punt.
This thing is a mile high. Hang time of nearly 5 seconds, and Ricky Smith buffs it up, but there's a red shirt there to cover it. Cheerleading squad is called the Spirits here in New England. And they're pleased about an 8-point Patriot lead with 8:35 to play in the third quarter. Van Egan and Collins are the backs, and it's Collins who takes it and is out to nearly the 35-yard line for a gain of 7.
He is a tough running back. You notice how low he runs to the ground? 19-7, Green Bay over Minnesota. When Collins gets the ball, he's got the acceleration that he's able to hide behind that blocking back and then just explode through the line of scrimmage. Very low to the ground, 13 carries, now 56 yards for Tony Collins. And with an 8-point lead, he's going to get the ball a bunch in this second half. Change of direction, but there's just nothing there. He's smothered for a loss of 2 or 3. This game is slowed to a walk.
Loss on the play of 2. Back to the 53. 2 down. 5.
So this will be 3rd down 5. Bob Kuchenberg in his 14th season out of Notre Dame, age 36. Has he fallen off at all, Trump?
Still plays. Still one of the best trapping offensive linemen there is in the game. Got lots of tricks, too. Knows how to use them.
It's 3rd and 5. Grogan firing, incomplete. Judson of Miami was the closest guy to it. Camarillo will have to punt, but first let's check with New York.
Thank you, Bob Costas. Elsewhere in the AFC East at Shea Stadium, here come the Bills. They were shut out in the first half. A scrambling Joe Ferguson hits Mike Mosley. Buffalo's within 7 now at 14-7. Now back to you, Bob.
And Buffalo, as they play the Jets, as well as Baltimore, as they take on Pittsburgh, have to be mindful of the possibility of a Miami defeat here. And a victory by either one of those other clubs could move them into a first-place tie.
How did he miss that?
I don't know how he missed the ball. A flag is down. New England's going to have a first down, but how that kick wasn't blocked is one of the all-time mysteries.
That's Eddie Hill, number 31. Now, the coaches will tell you, shoot for about 4 yards in front of the punter, but I mean, he's so untouched. He's there. It's going to be running into the kicker. Somebody just let him go by. Goes underneath his arm, and the net result is New England will get the ball back. Now that is, I would say that's impossible. I can't believe I saw that.
He practically could have tackled him, let alone blocked it.
Personal foul, running into the kicker, number 31, defense, first down.
Mosi Tatupu, number 30. He's on the outside, then it's 59. Lets him in. Look at him looking around here. 59 of the New England Patriots. Tim Golden. He knows knows he's made a mistake, but somehow he got away with it.
So a first down for the Pats with 6:54 left, and it's Collins lunging across the 40-yard line. All that Hill had to do was touch it even slightly, and at least he would have avoided the penalty, but somehow he missed it completely. As we pause briefly for station identification on the NBC television network.
And this is South Florida 7 WSVN Miami Fort Lauderdale.
Would it be safe to say that things aren't going the Miami Dolphins' way today?
An understatement. The Dolphins have 4 of their last 5 games at home, and the only road game is against Houston. So they had to figure they'd be in good shape if they could come into Foxborough and win today. Collins, very close to the stick. Looks like he's passed it for the first down.
73 Hanna, offensive guard out there leading Tony Collins. An underneath handoff and kind of freezes the linebackers at the line of scrimmage, and then a sprint to the sideline. The running back is going to win that foot race.
I was a little too quick on that call. They are a little bit short of the first down. It'll be third and less than 1. Clock running with 5:40 to play third quarter. Tupu, short yardage specialist, but he gets more than just short yardage. Banging people around as he rolls to the 40, a gain of 13.
Tell you one thing, they ran right at the best part of the Miami defense, right at Doug Betters. Wooten, 61 on your right. See Derek Ramsey out front, and he just runs over 42 Blackwood. Good enough for a first down. That tackling that Don Shula was worried about.
First down pass. Catch made by Morgan.
Look at that.
And Morgan has a first down to the 28-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play.
I don't think Ron Meyer expected it to be this easy. And I think Don Shula expected a better performance out of his football team than he's getting today. Look at that. New England has just had these sustained drives throughout the football game. And, of course, in the first half, Miami had 4 chances to score and all field goals, good on 2 of them.
Tatupu, about 3 yards. We're approaching the fourth quarter. 3 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the third. There's Steinfurt getting ready just in case, and that is the quarter which New England has owned this year. They have outscored their opponents 103 to 35 in the fourth quarter.
They have scored 48% of their points in the fourth quarter to this point in the season.
Kansas City lengthening their lead on Cincinnati. Grogan's pass dropped. Lynn Dawson had it in his hands, couldn't hold it.
That was room service. Should have had that one.
Let's go to New York to see what's going on elsewhere.
All right, Bob Costas in Kansas City. The Chiefs look awfully good today against the Bengals, who had won 3 in a row. Bill Kenny into the shadows to Willie Scott. It's now 20-9 Chiefs. Back to Foxborough.
Thanks, Lenny. Our story here with 3:20 left. Well, they may not need the plow today. 14-6 Patriots and driving for more. 3rd and 8.
Wide open.
He is, and the catch is made. It's Weathers who hauls it in. Robert Weathers at the 10-yard line for a first down. They get 16 on it.
He was uncovered. Someone missed an assignment on the defense. You could see the Miami Dolphin defensive back standing there with hands on hip, wondering what's going on. Betters to the outside 75. Grogan, look how open he is. Someone is not playing very well today for the Miami Dolphin defensive backfield. I'm not sure who. Look at this. There's nobody within 10 yards. Roethlisberger designed defense.
Technically, it's first and goal because the ball is just a fraction across the 10-yard line, and Collins gets to the 3. Tony Collins, who had a touchdown earlier. Ron Meyer. That offensive line, and with the likes of Collins and Weathers, who are averaging 5.6 and 5.7 yards per carry, respectively. Meyer just keeps going back to the well.
That was Bill Arnsparger's profile there.
Van Egan joins Collins in the backfield on second and goal from the 3. They tried this in the first half with better success than they enjoyed that time.
Brogan stacked up at the 2. It'll be third and goal to go from the 2.
Bears and Eagles tied at 14 in the 3rd.
Ooh.
Well, Houston. Last week it was Tampa Bay that finally snapped the jinx. Maybe this week Houston. Ron Meyer's Patriots face third and goal from the 2-yard line. 6:12 to play third quarter.
Excuse me, Bob. I'd say they come this way with Van Egan leading, Collins right behind him.
Fake to Collins. A world of time. And Grogan gets back to the line of scrimmage barely. Well, he had enough time to sing the Patriots fight song back there.
You're right.
Nobody open.
He had enough time to write the Patriots fight song. See the play action. It freezes everybody. Dewey 77 finally realizes it's a pass and not a run.
Looked like those guys were counting 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, like in the schoolyard, before they were allowed to rush. Steinfort is 4 of 9 as a Patriot. He's 4 for 4 inside the 40, 0 for 5 beyond. And this is a chip shot, and he makes it. So the Patriots extend their advantage to 17-6 New England, and they tell us that Miami has had the ball for the grand total of 4 offensive plays in the third quarter.
That's astonishing. Miami needs to get something going because in the fourth quarter, the New England Patriots weight training really takes over. And 4 plays in the third quarter with 1:30 left. Not what Don Shula and the Miami Dolphins had in mind.
Walker fields the kick on the run at the 13 and to the 30 or so. So you think that big fourth quarter...
The picture of David Whitley on the right, Don Strzok on the left, and you got to wonder right now if going through Don Shula's mind, look, we haven't done anything consistently through 3 quarters. Maybe I have to go with another dimension, and Whitley running the football is another dimension for Miami. He has not played in 5 weeks. The last time these two teams met, Woodley was the starting quarterback and had statistically one of his best days as a pro. Threw 2 touchdown passes, threw for over 280 yards. I think it's something that they may have to consider right now.
We'll return to New England in just a moment, but something is shaking elsewhere. Let's check with New York.
Okay, thanks, Bob Costas. The Buffalo Bills have just tied it. Shotgun formation on a 3rd and goal from the 19. Ferguson into the end zone to Byron Franklin. They're tied at Shea. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Len. It is Marino at the helm. Closing moments of the third quarter. In some trouble and can't get away. There's the first sack. And only the second time in the last 4 games that Marino has been sacked. It's Dennis Owens who gets it.
Bob, that play fooled no one. Clayton Weissoon and Roland James were right there with the screen man behind the defense. 52 in red is Rembert. 53 is Weissoon. And they all happen to, there you see the intended receiver, Tony Nathan, 22. All 3 linebackers standing right there.
When the Dolphins Dolphins go back on defense. Well, let's watch this first.
See, it's decently set up. One of the problems with a rookie quarterback is that you got to be a good actor back there. You may not have played the role well enough.
This is 2nd and 25. They get a little piece of it back on the catch by Bruce Hardy, the tight end. When the Dolphins go back on defense, we may not see Lyle Blackwood. We're told that he has a bruised knee and might not be back for the rest of the game.
And we also saw Kozlowski go off at the end of the first half with a gimpy leg, so that's 2 very important defensive backs. The starting free safety and the nickel back for the Miami Dolphins not available.
They got 7 on the last play. Tupo and company have done a good job with those long, time-consuming drives for the Patriots.
Looks like Sims is lined up off sides.
They need 18 to keep it. Broken up. Paul Dombrowski, number 47, the former Kansas City Chief, reached in to knock it away.
There's 41 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Dolphins have now run 7 plays for a minus 7 yards in the quarter.
Ricky Smith stands at the Patriot 30. Roby has been booming them today. This one is not as high as his usual kick. Smith fumbles it and then covers it. Blackwood is in the lineup. Last half minute of the third quarter. Robert Weathers carries. And Weathers gets 3 or 4 on what should be the last play of the period.
You know, we at the top of the game talked about the takeaway giveaway. To this point, the Miami Dolphins have not picked up a fumble or come up with an interception, and maybe that's kind of changed the attitude of the team a little bit. When they don't get those turnovers, they just don't play as well.
They were. The Spirits entertain along the sidelines. But the most entertaining thing to the 60,000 plus here in Foxborough today is the score after 3, 17-6 Patriots. They led 14-6 at halftime.
Look at that domination by New England. Total domination. And they're going into the best part of their football game, the fourth quarter.
And they start it with a give to Weathers. He turns the corner before being collared. Looks like he's got the first down, though. Let's check the scoreboard around the league. Buffalo back in it with the Jets after trailing 14-0 at Shea. Green Bay over Minnesota. The Vikings have fallen on some hard times. Kansas City has the lead against Cincinnati. And the Bears and the Eagles move to the 4th, tied at 14. All 4 Cardinal touchdowns in that 28-21 score over Seattle on passes from Neil Lomax to Roy Green. Throw on first down. Looks back to his left and completes it to Morgan. Near midfield for a gain of 5 or 6. More scores. Houston. This might be the week.
It's possible, I suppose.
And Pittsburgh over Baltimore's Gary Anderson has added a 42-yard field goal. That kid never misses.
Total yardage in the third quarter. New England, 117 yards. Miami minus 7 points. And look at that. Look at that.
Does not bode well for the Dolphins. 2nd down 4. Weathers, a couple. Ron Meyer is known not only as an outstanding coach, but as a man who occasionally comes up with a malaprop or two.
I'll say what?
They talk about them affectionately. He said things such as when he wanted the clocks to all read exactly the same in the Patriots office, he turned to his PR man, Moose Hoffman, and said, "Moose, we have to have these clocks Simonized."
Synchronized, you mean?
That's what he meant. another Meyerism, looking to wrap up a victory in a post-game press conference. Wanted to make his comments concise. He said, "Let me capsize the situation."
No, they're capsizing the Miami Dolphins today. I'll tell you that.
No matter how you express it, his Patriots are doing the job today, and Meyer has done the job in his 2 years at New England. The Camarillo kick is out of bounds inside the 5.
Very nice.
Numbers thus far, 9 for 21 for 92 yards. Jets grab the lead on Buffalo, and Minnesota makes it a little closer against Green Bay. Marino gives it to Overstreet, and it's a tough street to travel for David. Right into the heart of that New England defense for a gain of 1.
13 minutes left in this fourth quarter. I'd start throwing it every single down.
Well, it had to happen eventually that Marino would have, if not a bad game, then a game beneath the pace which he had set in his first 5 starts, and this might be the day.
But he hasn't really played poorly, but he's missed a couple, yes, but that's hardly a poor day.
Nobody there. Clayton had broken in the other direction.
We're not going to know where the miscommunication is, but that has happened several times today. He's now 9 of 22. Seattle has come back.
Dave Craig has hit Steve Largent 3 times in that game for touchdowns. And Neil Lomax has gone to Roy Green for 4 scores.
Gee, that's the way we used to play football in Jim Randolph's backyard.
The other touchdown in that game was a 94-yard Zachary Dixon kick return for Seattle. So they've had some fireworks at Busch Stadium.
That's a highlight film by itself, isn't it?
This isn't. Flags all over the place, and they're going to stop the play. It's against Miami by the reaction of the New England players.
Bob, it's hard to figure how a team coming in here.
False start. Number 74, offense.
Cleveland Green, offensive right tackle. It's hard to figure how a team comes in here with 4 straight wins and 4 straight impressive wins. That's the bottom part of the screen. He's the one that broke first, and that canceled the play. But Miami, there he is right there. Cleveland Green on your right. Ken Sims across from him. Therefore the penalty. Miami came in here playing very good football.
We talked about the hidden factor that might work in Miami's favor in this game, the fact that they are seldom penalized, and New England has had some problems in that area. 7 of the last 8 years, the Dolphins have had the fewest penalties in the entire league, but that certainly has not been the case today.
New England has not turned the ball over, almost doubled Miami's time of possession. Miami held to minus yardage in the third quarter.
And the ability of the Miami defense to take the ball away from their opponents was another factor we thought might play a part. But again, New England has not cooperated. They have just played too well.
Yeah, if you were Ron Meyer and a coaching staff, and you could sit down in the week and say, look, if you could orchestrate the kind of game you'd want, what would it be? This is it to a T.
12 and a half minutes left. 17-6 Patriots. Marino wants a bundle, and it's intercepted. It's Rick Sanford who picks it off. His 7th interception of the season. And depending upon what might have happened elsewhere today, he leads the AFC in interceptions, and he is tied for the league lead with Washington's Mark Murphy. More importantly, he's shaken up.
Well, this is full trajectory. He's got a gun.
Looking after Rick Sanford.
1776.
who took a hit after making the interception. As it turns out, field position-wise, it's about the same, maybe even better, than if Reggie Roby had punted on what would have been 4th down. There you see Sanford with the AFC lead, and prior to today, Mark Murphy of Washington also had 7, so he shares the overall league lead in that department.
Let me make this comment about Sanford. This turf in New England is one of the hardest surfaces these players will play on. It's an old turf, and generally a field that is just for football has a good cushion on it. This is extremely hard, very, very hard. Very little nap, and he hit his head on the turf, and it'll make him forget today and think about tomorrow. He'll have a headache.
There'll be 49 headaches on the plane back to Miami for the Dolphins unless this score changes. Tony Collins gets a couple, maybe 3 on 1st down, but the clock running, 12 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Pittsburgh at halftime increases their lead to 17-6. Cliff Stout to Calvin Sweeney, 7 yards for a score with 16 seconds to play before halftime. And Chicago with the lead in the 4th over Philadelphia. If the Steelers win at Baltimore, that'll be their 7th victory in a row. Push them to 9-2.
9-10.
By Steve Grogan drew the defensive line of the Miami out of their stances, 10 yards on the carry, and I think you can see the middle of the defensive line up and the offensive line of the New England Patriots just rolling them out of there. Collins now approaching 100 yards, 19 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown, his 9th of the season.
And he gets virtually nothing. Charles Bowser, who has the starting linebacker spot, which was left open after the death of Larry Gordon, makes the tackle.
Bob, I think that's the first time we've called his name today. He has been almost non-existent tackles.
Second and 10, and we're down to 10 minutes and 20 seconds left. Play fake, lots of time, broken up. Reaching in to knock it away was Glenn Blackwood. He is the younger of the 2 Blackwood brothers. He's 26. Lyle is 32.
You can see his left hand. He has a badly sprained wrist. He's taped up there for a little protection, but he's not really full tilt today.
New England 17, Miami 6. 10 minutes, 16 seconds remaining now. 3rd and 10 from the 47-yard line.
Blitz by Miami. Man-on-man coverage of the wide receivers.
And a long throw for Jones off his fingertips. Cedric Jones covered on the play by William Judson.
I will tell you, that ball was on the money by Steve Grogan.
Well, the last time Camarillo kicked from this general area on the field, he put it out of bounds inside the 5. Mark Clayton is the deep man down around the 5-yard line. This one will be marked out of bounds at, well, they're still walking. Mark Van Eegen is arguing for New England. This is the judgment of the officials as to where it crossed out of bounds in the air, and they'll say at the 17-yard line. Defense had been the league's stingiest, allowing just 164 points. Their defense hasn't betrayed them today, but their offense hasn't been able to generate anything as Brogan has outperformed Marino. Catch made by the tight end Dan Johnson, and Johnson is out to the 29-yard line. Gain of 12. The Dolphins have plenty of time to put together 2 scoring drives. They trail by 11. The problem is they have been able to manage only 2 field goals, and both of those came in the first half, so they haven't given an indication that they can do it against the New England defense today, but there is time if they get their act together.
Bob, I think I would treat, if I were Don Shula, the final 9 minutes as a 2-minute drill. Go up there with no huddle and try to get it out. I think the primary receiver here is Bruce Hardy, 84.
He's in motion. But the catch is made by Duper. Mark Duper, a little guy at 5'9", about 185 pounds. They get exactly 10 on the play.
The reason I mentioned that, when Woody Bennett, 34, came into the huddle, he said something to Bruce Hardy, and it looked like it was going to be a screen to the tight end because he was going that way in motion, but now 8:57 left, and you got to start thinking about just going with a two-minute hurry-up offense here.
Duper of late has been drawing double coverage. Marino, incomplete, intended for Nat Moore. Moore had the big week against San Francisco last Sunday, catching 6 passes, 2 of them for touchdowns, while Duper was being double covered. Cleveland goes up 20-0 in the 4th against Tampa Bay. So the celebration for the Buccaneers' first victory a week ago must come to an abrupt end. Marino is 11 for 26. He's had 1 picked off, 114 yards.
Blitz by New England.
But he gets it away deep, and he's got his man open, but it's over his head. Duriel Harris, who has seen limited action today, was beyond the secondary, and Marino heaved it too long.
Harris has been in Don Shula's doghouse. As you can see, he beats Lippett. He's wide open and just a little bit overthrown.
Fred Marion was arriving on the scene later, number 31. He's replaced Sanford at the free safety spot. But had it been on target, it could have been 6. Throws on the run and almost intercepted. Ray Claiborne had it for a moment.
This is very close. Claiborne once again, this ball is thrown behind Duper. You'll see him reach back. Right there where Claiborne, see, he had to slow up a little bit. Tough throw for any quarterback on the run.
Claiborne wanted it because he hasn't had an interception all year. Unusual for an outstanding cornerback like Claiborne. Now it's Clarence Weathers who's back to field the kick from Reggie Roby, replacing Ricky Smith on those duties. Big time again, around 4.5 seconds. And Weathers is going nowhere. 16. The punt by Roby, 43 yards, and a loss of 1 on the attempted return. Coming up Friday night, November 25th, another primetime boxing special. Again, it involves Larry Holmes. He's now 44-0. He goes against Marvis Frazier, who's also unbeaten, but with very limited experience. It's scheduled for 12, live from Las Vegas. Holmes against Frazier, Friday night, November 25th, prime time on NBC. Well, how about this? Minnesota, after being left for dead, they were down 19-0 at one point. Cut it to 22-21. Here's Weathers, probably this time. He fumbles the ball. Is this the break Miami needs? Who's got it? Dolphins say they do. The officials haven't agreed yet.
Looks like a scrum, doesn't it?
Look at the official in there.
Yes.
He's getting turned upside down.
Now, how do they handle this? How can they possibly tell who has possession of the football?
It'd be funny if the official came out of there with it.
Yeah, you're right.
They have to very delicately remove the players. Miami ball.
Give those officials helmets.
He was in a precarious spot.
Looked like Mike Charles had the football. First turnover of the day by Miami. And they're still in it. Here's Collins. Looks like the ball is stripped away. 59 Brodzinski gets his hand on it, and the ball is in the air.
Dolphins take over an offense at the 19-yard line of the New England.
Looks like a $100 bill down there. Well, maybe to those guys a $10,000 bill. Miami has it.
I think it was the rookie from Syracuse, as you said, number 71, Mike Charles, who recovered it. 8:08 left. Nathan gets 4 to the 15-yard line. It was the field judge, Bill O'Brien, who was standing on his head, and in a humorous but at the same time kind of dangerous position in that pile for a while. He'll get some kidding about that.
This is the deepest penetration Miami has had all day long.
Drills it into a crowd intended for Nat Moore, but it's broken up.
By Ronnie Lippett.
Ronnie Lippett was the man who made the defensive play. So now it's 3rd and 6.
Lippett has played outstanding football today. This is a touchdown situation. You can't go for 3 points here. You got 2 downs. 7:29 left. Deepest penetration. Must get it in the end zone. Marino has missed his last 4 straight passes.
So 3rd and 6 from the 15.
New England showing blitz. Here they come.
Marino gets rid of it. They're going to be just shy of the first down. Joe Rose is tackled at the 10, and they'll go for it now on 4th and 1. Roland James made the stop.
Roland James on the tackle.
What a wild one this is. Neil O'Donoghue has kicked a field goal to give the Cardinals the lead in the 4th, 31-28.
Well, the Dolphins certainly want to hang on to the football in this situation.
Down. He's to about the 7-yard line, diving over people. Just over 6.5 minutes remaining. So if they score here, they'll be in a position where all the earlier sins can be forgiven. They'll have another chance to get the ball back and maybe pull it out.
Would be a miraculous turnaround for what little they've been able to accomplish today to make this game close.
Andre Franklin gets just across the 5-yard line. You won't get many big gainers with him. He's averaging just 3.3 yards per carry. And of the 30 top rushers in the league in terms of total yardage, his average per carry is the lowest. Today, 10 carries for 23 yards. Cincinnati getting back close against Kansas City at 20-15. Anderson and Chris Collinsworth for a touchdown. They have about 4 minutes to go in that game. Johnson, the tight end.
If Marino has a problem, It's that once he gets in the pocket, his feet seem to stay in the same spot. Now watch. Watch his feet. You want a quarterback to move his feet. They're set. He just throws that right into the ground. That's 6 points right there. Sure he'd like to have that one back. Not very impressive stats for Marino today, but if he can get it in the end zone here, make up for a lot of his problems.
Did he catch it in the end zone or not? The officials are conferring. It's Mark Clayton who makes the reception.
Mark Clayton.
And from the way it appears now, they're going to mark it at the 1.
We'll have to watch this again on replay. See exactly what happened. It did look like he was pushed out of the end zone. See if we can pick it up here. Now, this is a good throw. Clayton just comes back. He's in the end zone. Touchdown.
Well, are his feet down, though?
Yes, yes.
You're right, they are.
Yes.
Touchdown.
As soon as that football breaks the plane and he's in the end zone, 6 points.
The Dolphins were robbed. It was a tough ball, but they missed it. 4th and goal. They didn't get it.
They did this last week against the Buffalo Bills. The offense of the New England Patriots has gotten the most press, but the defense has played with the offense all week long. That's Patrick Sullivan, general manager. New England Patriots looks happy.
Tatupu, and he busts through. Look out! We're talking about a foot race now, and he's caught from behind by Gerald Small. We could have been looking at 98 yards. Instead, he settles for 57.
Well, we know who the game ball goes to today for the New England Patriots. They got to give away 5 of them to the offensive line. Now, Mosley's not going to outrun many people, but the job was done at the line of scrimmage.
Mark Van Egan bangs straight ahead for 4 or 5 more. And the clock runs with 3:25 to play.
Strength. Cleveland 20-0 over Tampa Bay.
So Cleveland goes to 6-5 and Tampa Bay to 1-10. The Jets and Buffalo could be heading for overtime. Well, they still have about 8 minutes to go in that 4th quarter at Shea Stadium. Ernest Roan made the stop. Calls a timeout. They have 2 left, and the clock shows 2:42.
Bob, at the outset of the ballgame, we mentioned how New England now is a type of ball club that will stand toe-to-toe with their opponent, slug it out. They used to be a finesse team, and what they do to their opponent is basically take the steam out of them. Emotionally, psychologically, New England has controlled this game from the outset. And here's the catch ruled not a touchdown.
Don't forget next Sunday, November 20th.
Now, it appears to me we have a bad angle. The ball is over the end line right there. He doesn't have to have his feet on the ground to be in the end zone. That is a touchdown. But from our angle, that is a touchdown.
Action. Don't miss a minute.
Now, if, however, just for the sake of argument, if the receiver is standing with his foot in the end zone, when he reaches back across to the half-yard line to make the catch,
touchdown. It should not be at the point where they push him back.
Tony Collins and Nolan James. All appearances will be at 7 p.m.
In any event, where the ball was ultimately spotted was further back than any possible interpretation of that replay.
Yeah, now you take the forward progress of any ball carrier. The ball is marked where he catches it, not where he falls down, right? Why in the end zone did they mark it outside the end line?
Well, had the call gone Miami's way and the flags are down here, they would still be breathing in this game. As it is, it's New England which is marching to victory with 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining.
False start, number 88, offense.
We have some assistance here from the NFL office. Is Art McNally, the supervisor of officials. He's saying that unless the receiver had his second foot down, it does not count as a reception.
Can we look again? Let's see if our producer Larry Cirillo can give us another look at it.
Ball number 42. 2 down. At 10.
This is going to have to be dissected by the game films when you can stop action. Very difficult to show on instant replay, and especially from the angle we had. Let's watch closely.
1 foot down.
Both of his knees are on there.
But at the point where both of his feet hit, then clearly the ball is back toward the 1 yard line and not in the end zone.
We're all talking in vain, though, because we don't have the proper angle to judge whether the ball was over the end zone. Is that domination or is that domination?
One thing we can say, though, our first assessment that the officials definitely blew it is probably a little too hasty. It's questionable, but it's not definite. That hit Bowser in the back as it dropped incomplete.
Let's put it this way. To everyone in Miami, that was a touchdown. To everyone in New England, that was not a touchdown.
Intended for Tony Collins. Coverage on the play, Charles Bowser.
Grogan doesn't have all that much reason to be upset about what's gone on today. It hasn't been his best day statistically, but it's going to be a victory. 2:37 left, 17-6. For Grogan, 12 for 26, and a total of 155 yards. He hasn't had one intercepted. He has run for a touchdown, and Tony Collins has run for another. Try to stifle the field goal. Angling for the corner. It's fielded at the 5-yard line by Clayton. And he goes out of bounds at the 10, possibly to a lecture from Don Shula. 37-yard punt and a 5-yard return. Ordinarily, Trump, coaches say do not field a kick like that inside the 10-yard line. Take your chances that it'll bounce in for the touchback.
That is correct, they do.
Maybe the greatest golfing foursome ever, Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, and Tom Watson, playing for a minimum of $10,000 a hole for a total purse of $360,000. The Skins game coming up Thanksgiving weekend from the Desert Highlands course in Scottsdale, Arizona, right here on NBC Sports. Vin Scully will be there as part of our announcing crew, Bob Goldby as well. Marino's pass caught by Joe Rose for a first down and a gain of 14 at the 24. Clock is running with 2:14 left. They'll get off at least one more play before the 2-minute warning. Second down and 7 from the 27 as we check some final scores. Kansas City is now 5-6, and the Bengals are 4-7. And Chicago goes to 4-7, as does Philadelphia with this result.
Now the final, Cincinnati 20.
They just flashed on the scoreboard that Houston won, too.
Happy folks along the Patriots sideline. The scoreboard here in New England put up a Cincinnati victory over Kansas City, but our score had it the other way around. And they assure us from the truck, we are right.
Kansas City was a winner.
Kansas City won it 20-15. 2 timeouts remaining. Bingo. Joe Rose caught it, then couldn't hold it.
No catch.
Could have been a long gainer. Looked like it would be.
Well, number 13 and cover boy for Sports Illustrated. Not his.
Fourth quarter, it's Buffalo 17.
Well, it's about time. Houston beats Detroit by 10.
Was that 17 games in a row they'd lost?
They'd gone back to last season before the strike, right?
Yeah, I think it was 17 in a row they'd lost.
I think they won the last game before the strike, so there were 7 after, and they were 0-10 this year, so that would be 17 straight. 3rd and 7. Boy, was Nat Moore ever upended on that attempted catch. Roland James hit him cleanly, but it hurt.
Now that ball was thrown too high for Moore to make the catch. Appears he's holding his shoulder. Watch this one. This is the price you pay when there is a defense and prevent and the receiver is stretched out. See if he lands on his right shoulder. Oh. That's one of the reasons why I retired. He's up on his feet on the sideline being attended to, so.
And now the very last gasp on 4th and 7. 1:45 left. Duper couldn't hold it.
Claiborne again. There as the ball reaches the receiver and makes contact, knocks the ball away. And the victory sealed for the New England Patriots, even though there's a minute 38 left. Dan Marino will have better days. Watch this. Claiborne all day long. Contact as the ball is in Duper's hand.
Well, in the Miami bullpen, they say that Woodley would be the long man and Strock the short man, but Shula let his starter complete the business today.
Yeah,
Marino just never really got on track.
You're right.
Toward the end, he threw some balls on the money, and they were either dropped or good hits by the New England secondary, separated the receiver from the ball.
They just could not establish anything that they could go to time and time again all day long. Conversely, the New England Patriots have been able to run the ball almost at will. Their first down yardage throughout this ball game, and holding the Miami Dolphins to -7 yards rushing in the 3rd quarter.
Dolphins use a timeout. They have 1 left. And we can tell you that the executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. The coordinating producer of NFL football on NBC is Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game has been produced by Larry Cerullo, directed by Harry Coyle, technical director Steve Semino, and associate director Doug Kramer.
Thanks, guys. Guy in the brown hat, Clay Sullivan, president and owner of the New England Patriots.
The final figures from Marino, and evidently Nat Moore's going to be okay, but he really took a painful shot. Final figures for Marino, 15 of 37, 139 yards, 1 interception.
Tell you what, though, I like that. He goes over and he pats the receivers and he says, look, we'll have other days. Moore is the veteran, Marino the rookie, and yet the rookie has said, hey, we can't play any worse. Next week will be a lot better. an easy week for Ron Meyer. A good post-game press conference. And Mr. Sullivan. Smile on his face.
Van Egan. Patriots have a chance. Put a little icing on the cake here, leading 17-6. Just a Steinford field goal. That's all the scoring in the second half. Pat's got a touchdown. The first time they had the ball, a long, time-consuming drive, capped by a Grogan touchdown. And then they added one in the second quarter. Steinford warming up.
To this point, I think it's the first time this season that the Patriots have been shut out in the fourth quarter.
Tony Collins did the honors with a scoring run in the second quarter. And then Steinford had the field goal in the third. All of Miami scoring. 2 second-quarter field goals by Uwe von Schaumann. One of 52 yards, the other for 30.
That's the Patriots' 20th first down of the day against 13 for Miami. And they will not have to run another play. Game over. Impressive victory by the New England Patriots, Robert.
Patriots go to 6-5. Miami's 4-game winning streak is over. They are now 7-4. And if either Buffalo or Baltimore should win today, and both were trailing by slim margins last time we checked, Buffalo against the Jets and Baltimore against Pittsburgh, but if either should win, they would go to a first-place tie atop the AFC East with the Dolphins. Happy Mr. Sullivan shakes hands with Derek Ramsey. And his team, at the very worst, will be just a game back in the AFC East.
Points are important, but the manner in which the New England Patriots won today is something that will carry this team for a long time. Yes, sir. On this particular day, you are number one, Mr. Sullivan. On the other side of the coin, long day for Dan Marino.
And as you leave the stadium, please.
Well, it had to happen sometime. The first 5 games after becoming a starter, the kid was all but invincible.
Attention to those walking along Route 1. Pedestrians are
The smile on his face and the way in which he's greeting his opponents indicate that his demeanor hasn't changed very much, and that's one of the most appealing things about him. He's very self-assured. He believes he can do the job. His teammates have confidence in him, and this defeat today will alter that. He'll be their quarterback next week, and he's going to be a good one.
But next
that already.
Yes, but next week they do play the Baltimore Colts, and they are as good a rushing team as the New England Patriots, and the concern must still be there for Don Shulin trying to stop the good running football teams. With us on the field, the center, Pete Brock, number 58 of the New England Patriots. Pete, Bob Trumpy here. Congratulations on an outstanding performance by you 5 big guys up front today against Miami.
Well, thank you. It's I guess where the game's won and lost, and maybe that's where we did it. But it's always great to beat a team here, especially a team like Miami, and it keeps us right in the hunt. So we did ourselves a favor today.
You guys even got Miami to go away from their number 1 offense. In the second half, we saw a lot of 4-man front out of the Dolphins.
Yeah, it wasn't anything we really anticipated, but it really didn't give us all that much problems. We just, we were able to stay with our game plan because of the way the score was, and we were just able to come off the ball. We had some super running from our fullbacks, and Tony Collins, and just kind of ate the clock up and stayed exactly with what we needed to do today and exactly what we wanted to.
Pete, total yards 368. Collins was close to 100. I don't remember when I've seen you guys dominate a line of scrimmage like you did today.
Well, I haven't seen the films yet either. I don't feel like I dominated anybody, but it's nice to have those kind of yardage runs up, especially our last 4 or 5 weeks. We've done pretty much what we wanted to. We turned the ball over, and actually we're our worst enemies most of the time, but today we held on to the ball except for the one down here on the 20 and did exactly what we needed to do. I'm thrilled to death.
Yeah, well, Pete, congratulations. I would imagine when you get in the locker room, you're going to have a game ball. You guys, I believe, deserve it.
Thank you very much.
Great effort.
Thank you.
Well, it's good to see those offensive linemen get some credit every now and then. Way to go, Trump.
The Cleveland Browns will be coming to Sullivan Stadium to face the New England Patriots.
New England is going to be, at worst, a game back of Miami. Now, they might find themselves, it's possible, they could find themselves a game back of 3 teams in that AFC East race. Here's Tony Collins scoring a touchdown in the second quarter as we look back, and it sets off a unique celebration. But the question, Trump, is this New England team a legitimate contender? Are they a playoff club now, or are they just building toward it?
Absolutely, they're a playoff contender because of the manner in which they win. They beat up their opponents at the line of scrimmage.
For Bob Trumpy, I'm Bob Costas. There you see the final score. Thank you for being with us from New England today, and so long, everybody.